I'm Dr. Bryson Payne. I'm the author of Go Hack Yourself that you can pick up right now. And I'm also an award-winning professor, TEDx speaker, and cyber coach. In this first lesson, you're going to see how to hack your own password. Now, you might have seen websites starting to use this little eye icon like you see down below so that you can view your password, especially when you're on a mobile device where it's harder to type your passwords in. But what if you're talking about a website like your banking website? If there were only some way to reveal that password without having to reset it, and I'm going to show you how you can do exactly that. So let's talk about first what we mean by the word security through obscurity. So the way your browser stores a password is actually a good example of security through obscurity. Those little dots or asterisks are only there to stop someone from looking over your shoulder and seeing what your password is while you're physically typing it. It's not actually encrypting your password or storing it in any secure way. So if you save your browser passwords directly into your browser, that can be okay on your local machine, your personal laptop that you keep with you at all times, or on your personal computer that's locked up in your house. But if you do this on a browser out in public, at a library, at an airport, you're going to see why that could be a really big problem. Part of it has to do with how browsers secure passwords. And then we're going to talk about revealing an obscured password. We'll actually take you through about 5 clicks to gather that password we showed you. We're going to use and misuse this hack. We're going to talk about ethical and unethical ways that this hack can be used. Then we're going to talk to you about protecting your passwords. And finally, we'll give you some tips that you can take away. So first of all, security through obscurity is not really much security at all. It just means hiding something. Now, hiding something is not necessarily a bad thing. We hide things when we put them away inside a safe. But we also use a lock, a combination, a key to protect that thing when we hide it in a safe. If you just hide your house key under your doormat outside the front door, that's an example of security through obscurity because you're not really secure. You're just hiding it and hoping no one looks for that key under the doormat. Well, a browser secures a password the same way. It actually just obscures the password, but it's still typed in to that form on that page. So when those little dots or asterisks appear, they're just masking or hiding the password that's actually typed in as a value in that web form. So we're going to make use of the ability to inspect and edit a web page live in your browser to show you how to reveal an obscured password. So the first thing we're going to do is open up a web page that we want to go to. Let's choose facebook.com/login. I'm actually going to show you 3 different websites and how we could reveal the password there. We're going to enter a fake username and password. You can enter your real username if you want to, but enter a fake password. Never enter your real password, even for this example that you're going to do yourself, because somebody could look over your shoulder or somebody else could come in and use the same computer later and see your real password. We're going to use just a simple right click or a control click on a Mac to show the password by using the inspect tool in either Chrome or Firefox or Safari if you have the developer settings. We'll do it in Chrome just for convenience. And then we'll follow the other steps there. So first of all, let's go to Facebook. And I'll turn off the preview password. And the first thing I'm going to do is that right click or control click, come down to inspect. And in the inspect, if you've right clicked on the password field, somewhere in the password field you'll find type equals password. Now you may see pass or password in other places, but look for the type equals password like you see here on the screen. So type equals password. Check. Let's look back at our steps. So we found in step 4 the type equals password. Now we're going to double click on that word password in type equals password. We're going to replace password with a space just by tapping our space bar, and then we'll enter and we'll reveal our password. So first we're going to find type equals password, double click on password, now press the space bar, and then press enter or tab. Either one of those will work. I'll press enter, and look at that. This is not my real password. But if it were, you would be able to see it even though I haven't selected show the password. So this works with other websites. I'll show it with my university's login page. It's not because my university or Facebook hasn't done all the right things. It's because this is a flaw built into HTML itself. The password field is just another text box. The only thing securing or obscuring that password is that type equals password. When that is turned on, it actually hides your password behind dots or asterisks. So if I right click, let's practice all those steps again one more time. Come down to inspect. Find type equals password. Well, it was pretty close to the beginning of this one as well. But you see there are lots of other passwords in here. I'm just going to find type equals password. I'll double click it. Press the space bar. And then enter or tab. And look at that. This is not my real password either. And finally, just to bring this point home, we can do it with a bank web page just as easily. So I'll repair this just like an unethical hacker might. If they had just seen your password, they can actually fix that field back and make it look like nothing ever happened. So what I'm going to do here is right click on my password, come down to inspect. And in this one, you see there are a lot of passwords, and the type equals password is way down here near the bottom. But if you look to the right, in some password fields, you'll see a value field that actually tells you what is hidden, what is supposedly obscured or secured on this web page. It's not very secure at all. Anybody who can right-click can find out what that password that's stored in this browser might be. But if I double-click on password, press the space bar and enter, you're going to see that password was actually, this is also not my real password, folks. So I hope this is a good introduction into how important it is to think about password security, especially if you're out in the real world using, for example, hotel kiosk, business workstation out in the lobby of a hotel or in while you're waiting at the airport. So let's talk about how you can use and misuse this hack. So first of all, if you want to recover your own password, let's say that you want to log in on a new device, or you just don't remember what the password was, but you've stored it in your browser, that's an ethical use of this hack. You can also use this hack, for example, in an organization, in a company. If someone leaves the company unexpectedly and they're the only ones who has access to a particular account, if they've saved it in their work computer in the browser, you can use this hack ethically for that business because you have the permission of the business owner to reveal that password so that the company can get access to those sensitive accounts again. Those are ethical uses. We've already mentioned a couple of misuses of this hack. If someone were to come in behind you at a hotel lobby computer, a library computer, a school computer, a work computer, they can actually just sit down at the keyboard, and with those 4 or 5 clicks, they'll be able to see a password if you've stored it in your browser. The same thing happens if you store this on a public machine anywhere. An unethical hacker can go right in behind you, click those first few times, and using the inspect tool, they can actually see your password. The same thing would happen if you got up and walked away from your computer to go to the restroom in a coffee shop. So if you leave your computer open, if you forget to close the lid and lock it with a password, someone could walk up to your computer in just a few seconds. You saw how fast it was for us to execute this hack. And they can reveal your password. They might even choose to fix it back, like we did. So how can you protect your passwords? First of all, limit all of these. Where you store your passwords, never store a password on a public or shared computer. Limit which passwords you store. The number one password you should never store is your email password, because that's usually the password that lets you reset all of your other passwords. When you forget a password, what do? You get a note in your email. You say, I forgot my password, and they send you a link to let you reset all your other passwords. So never store your email password in your browser. And limit who has access to your computer. Keep your computer or your mobile device, your laptop with you or in a safe place, and log out if you have to step away even for a moment. If you do have to use your files from, log into your sensitive accounts on a public computer, make sure you're using incognito mode. That's Control-Shift-N on Chrome, or Shift. You can use a private window with Shift-Command-N. Let me show you what a new incognito window looks like. I'll close this here. So Command-Shift-N, and we've got a new incognito window. Remember to close that tab or close that browser and log out completely before you step away. Every time you use a public or shared computer, make sure you log out and close that browser when you're done. So here are a few tips for you to take away with you. Security through obscurity, it's easy to defeat and it's not very secure at all. You learned how to reveal a password that's entered into a browser or stored there in seconds using only a few clicks. You also learned the importance of never storing a browser on a public or shared computer. And finally, now you know that you can physically protect your computer from people that you don't know or trust. If someone can touch your keyboard, they can access your sensitive information. The hacks you learned about in this lesson were all about physical access to your computer. In the next lesson, you're going to see how to use a physical hack. If you've got access to a computer, you're going to be able to access files without knowing the user's login. We'll see you in the next lesson.